Good evening. I am Atul Bal, and with me, Dr. Prabhat Kumar is there. He would be talking about artificial intelligence and the future of work. This will probably have some ethical and geopolitical issues also. First of all, let me uh, compliment you, Prabhat for really doing a lot of work on this area. Dr. Prabhat Kumar is BTech, MTech, and PhD from IIT Delhi itself. So that's interesting to know about. He was IRS officer also. So Prabhat what exactly took you to this direction, like towards artificial intelligence?
I have been connected with technology for the last more than 25 years. After I doing my MTech in systems and management, I am an avid reader and writer. I went for an MBA program in high technology management in France, which I could not be completed. When I came back, I joined my doctorate, PhD in DMS, in technology and management and strategy. And I was writing also. I co-authored a book on government online. I was writing in various economic newspapers. And then I picked up the new wave of technology, AI, last year. I have authored a book also now, Artificial Intelligence, Reshaping.
Can you just show the book? Because
Yes.
that is quite very much in demand.
Yes. This is the society.
Prabhatji, artificial intelligence is a subject which is on its real essence, it is something which is very old concept. If you really go by, since the ages of natural intelligence, which is consistently having a continuous fight at the geopolitical situation. How you really think that artificial intelligence is going to play a major role in transforming the lives of uh, people in general?
True, artificial intelligence came in 1950s. Professor McCarthy, assembled a team of experts in the summer of 1956. But because of technological limitations, it could not take off. Finally, in 2000 onwards, the three big experts of AI, Hinton and Leakin and Bengio, who have just been awarded Turing Prize, which is equivalent to Nobel Prize in computing, only 2 days back.
Okay.
So they took to deep learning, by which time the technological capacities were enhanced and they could get results. So with the deep learning and neural networks, they could design some solutions and then it took off. After 2010, and particularly after 2012, it has really produced some good applications. So this is the future of our work. That whole transformation may take 10 to 20 years. Technological transformation is not a 1 day or 1 year journey. And ultimately, it has to meet the test of market success in terms of viable products and services, cost effectiveness, and customers lapping it up. So customers' preferences have to be taken. So all these put together, and because of China competing hugely in this area with the US, the international scenario has really become very interesting.
I think now, friends, if you have any question on the subject Dr. Prabhat Kumar will be taking up, do not hesitate. There is a chat which is opened up, and you can put up a question. And I now give the place to Dr. Prabhat Kumar. All the best and happy viewing. Thank you very much, Dr. Prabhat Kumar.
Yeah, let me thank Atul Balji, our president, and dear friends who have joined me for this webinar. I welcome you all. I am going to talk about, how this journey has just begun and how we are using data from different platforms and channels to develop solutions which are particularized, contextualized, and how we are creating smart data which companies can use for developing solution for future of work. Then, with all these inputs companies can make smart decisions and gain a competitive advantage. So these topics are what we are going to discuss in today's webinar. We, as Atul Balji has said, that this technology is not new. It came 7 decades back. But what has really, helped this progress is the collection of data. So data is being collected at an ever increasing scale. All these programs we are running through 4G and other communication networks are creating huge data on daily basis. The big technology companies are creating the largest amount of data, and they are making use of it for developing services. Now, when you collect data on such huge scale, and mostly as far as consumers are concerned, they are not being paid for it. So collection for the moment is free, which may change in the future. Now, these data collected are being put to various kinds of uses by the big technology companies. You have seen how Google is developing solutions for, let us say, flight search, for Google Maps. Similarly, Facebook is developing so many solutions using their own data. Amazon is using for e-commerce, for making recommendations, pattern recognition, etc. Now, when we have this data collection, after that, what happens? Data may have been collected earlier also, maybe not so in huge quantity. But now what has changed the game to begin with is machine learning, which is a subset of technology of artificial intelligence. So when we have data, we divide the data into 2 parts. One is the training data and the other is the test data. So with the training data, we develop a model, algorithmic model, based upon some objective functions. And by maximizing the objective function, you develop a model. Now that model will again be tested on the test data, the other set of data, and then you finally derive a machine learning program which can be used on future data. Now that machine learning by itself is not so complex. Now for complex problems, we need better solutions, which is, deep learning. But before I come to that, what does machine learning do? Machine learning, first of all, develops certain patterns. It recognizes patterns from data. Now that is a great thing. When we collect such huge amount of data through various channels of users, organizations, in space, we can apply that in many situations for pattern recognition. Then, of course, machine learning recognizes images. It solves complex problems. It understands languages and it creates certain perspectives. So these, particular applications or solutions that machine learning delivers can be used in various applications. Now, before we come to the applications, let us also try to understand deep learning. Deep learning is the thing which was originally aimed at, which is based upon the functioning of our brain. Our brain functions on neurons and then neuron networks. We try to create artificial neurons and artificial neuron network. So it is called deep learning program based on neural network or convolutional neural network. There we can solve much bigger problems. Now these, as I said, today when we look at it, large number of solutions already exist, but we are at phase 1. In the next 10 to 15 or 20 years, we'll move from phase 1 to phase 5 ultimately, when the whole world will move to this platform. Look at the developments, that will come in this year itself. We are going to have 5G, possibly by the end of the year, and maybe in the US by the middle of the year. Now, 5G will enable us to collect data on a much wider scale. Now, when we have so much of data, obviously we can plan for many more applications. Now, I'll just take some of the domain areas. For example, if you take finance, now what happens? What are the new trends? The first topic is how do we use machine intelligence or for various programs? Is it just the beginning? So if we take finance, you will see what are the trends. First is about open data, which are collected through apps, models, and various social media, which is part of our today's webinar, whether it is social stream or at enterprise level. Then we are going for open source platforms. Now, Google's TensorFlow is one such example, where web developers can join in and boost the program of application development. The third trend is the collaboration between the banks and maybe startups and the big technology companies. All the banks, for example, Goldman Sachs, BNP Paribas, American Express, Deutsche Bank, they are all running huge departments with huge number of developers for developing their own AI programs and services. The next is integration of workflow for better communication, integration between researchers and data analysts. Then of course we need data security. When you are collecting data on such unprecedented scale and making sure that services are delivered without any cyber problems, you have to have very robust cyber security solutions. Then decision-making process in the banks, they improve, saving time and cost. And finally, you can address customers' grievances collected from various channels like Facebook, Twitter, emails, and SMS in an integrated manner. You can also apply chatbots, which will connect you for normal banking processes to give answers. Now, these are some of the areas in finance where AI is being applied. Now, in the normal sense, we had the whole behemoths in finance. But now in AI world, that segment of finance is being broken into 10, 15, or 18 different segments. For example, bank loans. Now there are startups which ensure that sanction of loan is very fast. Authentication is done. Customers are recognized. Their credit score can be given instantly when somebody logs in through an app. Similarly, in security trading, algorithms are being used where returns are very fabulous. You have third dimension of compliance. Now, the compliance of various regulatory, government departments can be done by applying AI technology and in a seamless manner. Like that, we have various other compartmental where these AI can be applied. I'll take one more segment of health, for example. there is a huge application today in health. AI, blockchain, and IoT are being connected together on a single platform to collect electronic health records of patients, use it for developing various solutions. For example, for better management of hospital facilities, the most important is in diagnostics, then in collecting patients' information, which we convert into an appropriate data set for in the form of EHR, electronic health record, which can be used in the future, and doctors can access patients' record from anywhere whenever patient visits any hospital at any place. Now, devices and apps, these are playing a major role. We have wearables which collects your health data in real time, and those who are at the risk of certain diseases, they can be assured of timely help by, whenever there is an emergency, the hospital authorities or doctors can be alerted. Now, apart from these, there is also a huge push towards new drug discovery and new age solutions. People are working on, for example, anti aging solutions. Now, people want to live today forever. How do we have those solutions where a human being can live forever or for 1,000 years? Now, those anti-aging solutions are tried out in research in the area of artificial intelligence. Similarly, today drug discovery costs a lot. Now that cost can be reduced by application of artificial intelligence. So I have given examples from two domains, finance and health, but these can be multiplied. You have large many solutions in e-commerce, where in fashion, for example, in fashion, trending can be captured by your AI system, customers' preferences very fast. You need not print 50,000 pieces of a t-shirt of a particular color. You can make out 50 pieces and try it out in the market. Whichever color, size, design works out best, you can go for that. You reduce the time cycle of the procurement process. For example, for t-shirts or summer wear, you generally plan 6 months to 1 year in advance. Now, AI tools applied in fashion technology ensure that the whole process is cut down to just 2 months. Your inventory need not be stocked for millions of dollars. There can be just in time delivery solutions. You know that Amazon, Flipkart are collecting such huge data. They collect customers' preferences. The future growth can be seen by certain indices. Stanford Index talks about relying upon 10 to 12 indices. If you look at today's activity in terms of investment by venture capitalists, in terms of patents being filed, in terms of hiring in AI, mergers and acquisitions, you find a huge push in all these activities, which shows that now AI is progressing quite well. China has entered the game last year. 48% of investments in startups went to Chinese startups. They have beaten the US startups for the first time. Now, there is a huge push, and it will take, as I said, next 10 years to develop AI solutions in a full bloom fashion. Now, so machine learning today is just a beginning. We come to the second part, which is collection of data from various streams, web, social streams, enterprise, to harmonize it with contextual processes and provide a platform for the organization to collect smart data for future of work. Now, what happens? In the old process, data could be collected from one or two sources. Now, there are AI programs which run through the entire web and they collect the data from all sources. For example, there is a startup called AlphaSense. Now they collect the data from more than 200 streams or 2000 streams, in fact. And for example, if you want to know the performance of Alphabet, Microsoft, or Reliance Industries, you will see that those who have subscribed to AlphaSense, they can get all the data relating to performance of a company, whichever has been released in social stream, social media, whenever any filing has been made, wherever any announcement made by the company, any quarterly results, statutory filings, AlphaSense collects all the data and gives you a consolidated information about a particular company. Now researchers, corporates have made subscription to AlphaSense and get that benefit of collecting information on a particular company for certain purposes. Now you see the integration that is happening by collecting information from such diverse streams. The next example I would give in HR management. In the traditional human resource systems, for example, for recruitment, you invited applications were screened, and then decisions had to be taken to shortlist certain candidates, go for their interview. The whole process may take months, from 6 months to 1 year. Now there was a regular complaint that those who apply do not know why they have been shortlisted, not shortlisted, why they have not received a call. Then the recruiters complain that they do not get the right skill sets, what they actually require. Now, when you apply AI systems to HR management, first of all, the whole time frame is cut short. Now, let us say you have invited certain applications. Now, those applicants who have applied, their data, their CVs will be stored in the system forever. If you get selected, well and good, by following the due process. If you don't, then you will be informed why you have not been selected. And your database remains in the system. Whenever there is a vacancy which fits your system, which fits your skill sets, then you may be called again. Similarly, the organization can retain their database of their own employees and offer them new jobs whenever they arise. Organization can also ensure that certain jobs are at risk, and those who are working on those jobs, they are shifted to other jobs within the company, and those employees are also alerted in advance. Now, these HR tools ensure that certain deliverables which could not happen in the old system can now actually take place and reform the whole age-old system of HR management. If somebody is likely to quit and he is working in a very responsible position, suddenly the organization goes haywire. Now this AI system can alert you about such an employee, and you will try to retain him within the organization by offering various kinds of incentives in advance. Now, therefore, these machine learning, deep learning tools can enable the organizations to create smart data and manage their systems much better. Now, this can be applied for futuristic work also. The organization itself may be running some outdated programs. Now the market trends will alert you that, okay, the requirement for jobs on which you are working, is reducing, and the future jobs that are arising, that trending can be captured by the organization, and new capabilities can also be developed within the organization. Today, there is a news item. You may have had a look at it in Hindu Business Line. Now, here, the two titans of the industry, Satya Nadella from Microsoft, and Shantanu Narayan, his classmate, they are talking about, unlocking the data potential, which are trapped in silos. And this data, which remains trapped in silos, can be used for improving the processes of business within the organization. Now, there is an example, about Unilever collecting data on enterprise-wide from different platforms for achieving its goal of, getting all the packaging back and for reuse, compostable, and recyclable. Now, plastics and all, we are all scared today. Governments are becoming very active. There are NGOs, civil society organizations who are very particular about, plastics coming in the atmosphere and remaining there for 500 years as it does not decompose. Now, this is a very good solution which Unilever is working on. And the whole basis is collecting data from different platforms and making use of that for recycling the packages. Now, these type of hundreds of applications will come up in the future. The whole thing is that with data as the primary resource, there are limitless applications. Our own, creativity is the limitation. Today, that data is collected on the ground, from the sea waters or waters, from the air, and in the space. Now, you see the practical applications. Today, we are talking about self-driving cars. What are they doing? They are again, when the cars drive on the road, they collect data of all their surroundings to drive seamlessly. Now, there are, technological solutions in terms of GPS, sensors, cameras, radars, and finally the software that integrates. Now, all those 5 elements put together work at the edges and make that smart driving possible. Now, this one example I would also like to deal here. Now, there are two trends in data. One is data going to the cloud, where the cost of delivery of services can be reduced, and data can be stored centrally in a cloud. Various companies like Amazon, even Google, they are offering web-based services. Microsoft, they are all having cloud-based services. The other trend that is happening is edge computing, where data is collected at the edges and utilized at the edges. Now, there is a news item today. Apple has bought one startup which has smart security solutions. At home, you collect data about the people entering the house. Now, it can recognize their faces. Now, Apple can integrate that solution for recognition of people entering the house and recognize those people by name. Now, this edge computing, again, we are having large number of solutions where the data resides at the edges. They are used at the edges, like in smart driving cars, and applications can be developed there without transferring it to cloud. Now, the next application, very, smart, is the drone services. Now, you see the drones. Today, again, there is a news item that in US, for the first time, regulatory permission has been given for business application of drone, where certain emergency supplies, blood or medicine has been transferred from one place to another. Now, drone is another application which is going to impact more than 24 industries. Simplest is that drones are making it possible for delivery of e-commerce orders in inaccessible areas. JD.com of China is already doing it, where they are delivering the packages in hilly areas through drones. Drones, drones are covered under regulatory regime where, the weight, distance traveled, and similar 4 or 5 parameters are controlled. Drones cannot fly today for hundreds of kilometers. The second biggest application of drone is in construction industry. In the traditional sense, the construction of highways, tall buildings cannot be done very effectively. Now drones are helping it. Drones can make 2-3 trips in the day, collect the information through computer vision about the actual progress at the site and deliver it, which will be available to those who are monitoring the project in real time. Now, drones are going to impact us in a big way, including securing your premises, which are large. For example, if you have large tract of land and all over you have to place sensors, cameras. Now, drones can make several trips during the day and give you the real-time report. So this data that is collected is put to large number of applications. These two I have given. Now we are moving to space. Space-based collection of data is being applied in applications like in agriculture, in military. First, I will talk about agriculture. The whole land database can be created. Then drones can also be used to monitor the health of the crops. It will give you the particularized information about each and every plant. Rather than watering the whole agricultural field, you know which plants need how much of water. Similarly, when you have to spread pesticides, you don't want to spread pesticides all over. You know exactly the health of each and every plant, plant in the field, and you can particularize how much pesticide does each plant need. Now these sensors, cameras, drones all make it possible to collect information about the agricultural health. There are other applications of AI in agriculture. For example, smart seeds are being developed which is coated with certain natural organic material, where the production level can go up by 2 times, 3 times, or 5 times. It is happening in cotton seed, for example. Now, similarly, we know that there is a deforestation happening. Now, in Australia, there is one gentleman who has come up with a solution where large number of saplings can be planted in one day and huge tracts of land can be converted into forest areas very quickly. Now, in the age of saving our climate and ensuring that trees survive like human beings, these solutions are epoch making. So when we collect data, we make them smart. They become smart in the sense you will use them for innovative applications. Data does not remain data per se. It is usable in different applications. And that is our kind of future of work that will generate large number of applications. We are aware that there is a real threat perception of the new technology which is likely to take away jobs. Sure enough, The lower end jobs will go away, just like the previous wave of computing took away the lower end jobs. Now the data entry jobs may go away. The call center may ultimately go away because chatbots will become much more smarter. The data entry is no longer required. Data is captured on its own. Now there are, of course, solutions and areas, industries that will come up, and government, the civil society, private industry, they all have to be aware that they will have to invest a lot in reskilling people, in retraining people. The educational institutions have to reorganize themselves so that what they are teaching is relevant for the jobs of the future. So therefore, when we talk about data, these issues become simultaneously important. Now, the next question that is, what happens to the competitive advantage of the companies? This is a whole gamut of issues that AI throws up. The competition arises right at the national or international stage. Today, the whole game has become interesting because China has come up with huge industries, with AI applications, and that has sent Shopee running an authoritarian government. But as far as private businesses are concerned, they are, they have adopted a policy where they have allowed total freedom to their businesses to collect data. There are no issues relating to privacy. There are no issues relating to, security in the same manner that the Western companies face. No issues of scrutiny by private NGOs, civil society groups. So companies like Alibaba, Tencent, Baidu, JD.com, and whole host of other companies have, collected such huge amount of data. Look at one, application. Now Tencent is running WeChat. WeChat not only connects people like WhatsApp, they also provide a payment solution. And in China, similarly, Alibaba has Alipay. Now in China, the total payments through e-payments is now close to 19 trillion, which is 1.5 times their GDP. You can see the popularity of e-payments in China, and it is all by using AI applications where the data is captured of the payers and the receivers and used in developing various financial products, various solutions for the web. Now that kind of competition and scale, the advantage of the Chinese state, the connection of the largest number of people through web and internet has given a huge advantage. That is first at the national level, then at the company level. Now what is happening at the industrial level? If you look at Google, Facebook, they have collected, Amazon, Walmart, they are collecting data in real time, which is historically unprecedented. Now that data right now is, the model is like this, that I collect data free and I deliver free services. The more data I collect, more number of customers I develop, more advertisers will come on my site, more revenues will flow to me. With those revenues, I can invest more in research and development. The more I engage in R&D, better products and solutions I come up with, more money I have through advertisers, better talent I can hire, and you can see in the number of patents they are filing what terrific amount of R&D they have done in various fields, including self-driving cars. So that smart decision making is happening through that data collection. Contextualized, particularized recommendations can be made. Today, it is not advisable that you pick up, a promotional email and send it to 1 lakh people just like that. The effectiveness of that email may be hardly 1%. So what you do today, you know your customers who are interested in what, and then that particularized email or any promotional material can be sent only to those people. So therefore, that smart decision making will come only from the data point and application of machine learning, deep learning, computer vision technology. For example, Apple through its iPhones, collects your facial recognition through computer vision system and converts it into data which is in usable formats. So these subsets of technology working with data make it possible for organizations to become smarter and develop smart solutions, take smart decisions for promotion of their businesses. One simple enterprise-wide application. You have your sales team, marketing team. How effective is? They are engaging with 10 customers and finally they don't come up with a real deal. Now, this enterprise application of AI in marketing will ensure that right from the start, when you engage with your customer, you have kept full track of them, and ultimately the conversion ratio in the actual number of deals is on a much higher scale. Now, this marketing solutions based on AI can can be more effective than the old system. So this competitive advantage is accruing to those companies who are proactive, who are aggressive, and who have kept their eyes and ears open to engage themselves with the new technology. The primary fact is that companies themselves have to be proactive. Their top decision making process ensures that what is happening in the market is captured in real time, giving a feedback to them on their businesses and future areas that they want to get into. So therefore, the application of all these technologies today and in the years to come will ensure that all of us are benefited. The ultimate test of an AI solution is in the marketplace. Ultimately, the solutions have to be beneficial to the customers. They perceive some benefit in terms of saving in time, saving in cost, more comfort and convenience in receiving services. The businesses feel comfort level in the sense that their cost is reduced, time to come to market is reduced, and they see their own advantages. Without the actual advantage happening to various stakeholders, the benefit of technology will not penetrate. So therefore, these technologies must address the real world concerns of businesses, customers, governments, and other stakeholders. So with this, I may, conclude on most of the things that have been fixed for this webinar, except for the last topic. I like to deal with it in a very short and crisp manner. The last is about the unsupervised learning. As you know, machine learning consists of two parts: supervised learning and unsupervised learning. So in supervised learning, the data is labeled. The machine already knows that the data is of the cats, of books, or whatever objects. In unsupervised learning, the computer itself has to discover. Now, most of the time we are doing supervised learning, where the data is labeled and data can be identified. We are years and decades away where the machines will be able to do the entire job by itself without any hand holding by humans. So right now we are slightly away, distant from that stage. But however, we have an intermediate stage of reinforcement learning, which is based upon not pattern recognition, but it is, somewhat between the two, and where some amount of yeah, just 1 second. Yeah. So there is an example of, for example, AlphaGo. Now, AlphaGo solution was developed with the reinforcement learning. Now, what happens? All of you may have watched dolphin shows. What happens when we watch a dolphin? We make the dolphin to do certain acts. It plays around different games in the water. Now, after that, when the trainer calls the dolphin and gives them a reward, now that is kind of a reinforcement learning. Whenever the dolphin has performed certain act and done it to the satisfaction of the trainer, it is rewarded. All the time at home, we teach the child to do that. Do's and don'ts for the child is done through reinforcement learning by way of reward and punishment. Now that is kind of reinforcement learning. So reinforcement learning, AlphaGo came, it played a game of Go long back, and large number of applications are being developed based on the reinforcement learning now. So that takes care of all the topics covered in the webinar for the day. Now I will take up some of I hope what I have clarified here to my dear colleagues who are with me in this webinar is satisfactory. Of course, there are large number of applications. Those who want to read more about them in various other fields, like even including law. I am practicing law. I am a lawyer and corporate consultant, and law is going to be disrupted by artificial intelligence tools. So you can get a copy of this book, and you will see more than 80 case studies of startups engaged in various functional areas in various industries. Plus, there is a chapter on big technology, which discusses what the big technology companies like Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, IBM, Facebook, Alibaba, Tencent, and all are doing, and leveraging AI for promoting AI industry in their own businesses. So this is a huge area. You can search through the web, see some videos on the subject. You will get much more knowledge. In this 45 minutes of webinar, it is not possible to deal with every aspect, but nevertheless, it is all illustrative, and I have tried to do justice to that. There is also, I'll close with that as far as data is concerned, there are a whole lot of issues around data relating to privacy, relating to data protection, and different countries, different states, jurisdictions are coming up with their own data protection act. We have already seen GDPR, which has already come into effect from 25th of May 2018. California has introduced a law which will come into effect in 2020. Big technology companies are pressurizing the federal government of US to come up with a law to cut short on Californian law, which is highly pro-consumer. So tomorrow, data collection may not be exactly free the way it is done now. That is a big challenge for developers, for industry, and countries as a whole, because there is no restriction in China regarding collection of data. So I'll take up some of the questions that are coming up here. One question is how AI is being used for faster data processing, and how does it help in establishing a connect among IoT, blockchain, and supply chain? As you know, blockchain is a different technology where data is stored in a secure manner, not centrally, and different participants can participate in this data collection, data amendment, and transactions on the blockchain platform. So that it has a completely different model. As far as IoT is concerned, Internet of Things, it collects data and it allows you to process. For example, when you employ a security device at home and in office, it collects data, and through IoT, it can put it in the network. You can develop different solutions. Industries have come up with IoT applications where plants can be run remotely, and when it is completely automated, all that data from the plant, let us say in Gujarat, can be monitored from Navi Mumbai. So the large technology companies have that solution where the data through the networks by application through AI platform and IoT can be managed for getting more efficiency of the whole system and making the whole process more cost effective and for better management. Then there is one question of example of B2C and B2B. Yes, B2B is a large segment. Now, when you talk about Alibaba and Amazon, Alibaba to begin with was a B2B platform where businesses transacted through this platform. B2B is in fact almost, like 50 to 60% of the total transactions happening on e-commerce platform. So that is, of course, a very big segment. And there is one question relating to AI techniques in modern day weaponry. Now, AI application in military warfare is a separate area, and a huge discussion can take place on that. It is a threat to mankind, as has been highlighted by many experts and many scientists. How we are going to sort out this problem, we have no answer. But the real fact of the matter on the ground is that today the Army, Navy, Air Force are all being upgraded with AI capabilities for tomorrow's warfare. Other than that, countries are putting in huge resources in the space for collecting data, keeping an eye on enemies' activities, and ensuring that their own national networks are not hacked or taken command of by rogue elements or other adversaries. So these Army, Air Force, Navy, and activity in space, they are all moving to, in a way, a dangerous state of affairs, but it is the hardcore reality today. Then another question is, how it impacts the supply chain. As I said, the supply chain, all the participants can be integrated on one single platform. Their data can be shared, and the whole process of right from the stage 1 to the stage last, like, where the raw materials are moving and it is being transported, then it is being received in the factory, then your production line gets that data and delivery of goods for manufacturing. Finally, when goods are manufactured, it is shipped to another destination. All the processes are being digitized, and AI applications are being developed to ensure, timely delivery of goods and services and to create effectiveness in the whole supply chain. So this is another good area.
First of all, thank you very much, Dr. Prabhat. It was a very enlightening lecture. I would say lecture because you have become an academician by now. And the way you have taken up the subjects one by one, of course, it's a very elaborate subject altogether. And it is the information is for the viewer also that this series will continue. Next week on Friday, that's 5th of April, our next lecture would be on blockchain. That will be between 12 and 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Then thereafter, we'll be having another series on another lecture on IoT. That is on 12th of April. That will be the timing will be 4 to 5. Then the last one in the series would be on 19th. In fact, that will be the second last, and then last one will be on the 26th. That will be between 4 and 5. All those. The details will be very shortly posted over our website. That is iitdalumni.com. Please do visit the website very often and see these webinars, not only on this subject, but there are various other subjects on arbitration, on GST, on mutual funds, and on other technologically interventions will be coming up then. Thank you very much, Dr. Prabhat. And once again, it was very enlightening.
I thank Atul Balji. He has taken great initiative in organizing these webinars and he has been very active. The Alumni Association has been very active and thanks to him. I also thank my participants, my colleagues here who have joined me here. Really wonderful too.
And I also extend my thanks to all the viewers. And please join on 5th of April, that is between 12 and 1. Thank you very much.